Okay, Fitz, you have one more that you want to talk about, right?
I got one more, and it's a pretty important one. Bekkem Kritza. What do we the
Sorry.
Yeah, I did the Keandre Barker retrospect here earlier. I'm not going to do the Kritza one, but he's back at Miami Central, and we're going to see what he's made of. It's a tough place to get in and get into a groove. I know they are in camp, but yeah, I mean he's got to show it on the field. He did it in Colorado. He didn't do it in California. Didn't do it in Florida last year. Went back to Colorado. Did it in Colorado. And I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but now he's back in Florida, and hey, the talent is there. You can see it. I sat there and watched his workout in June with Danny O'Brien, and boy, he can throw the football. But there's everything else. Like there's everything else. So very curious to see how that one goes. I don't think we need to get too deep into it because I don't think there's a lot of depth to be here. Like he's got to be able to run the offense. He's got to be able to make the throws. He's got to be able to throw off platform and
Be
not fall in.
consistent.
Yeah, be
Yep.
consistent and not fall into those bad habits, which he certainly showed at times last year. Like you can get away with that playing around Boulder, Colorado. I don't think you're going to get away with that in South Florida. So very curious to see how he goes. Again, ceiling way high,
Yep.
but he's not close to his ceiling. So we're going to
Yep.
see where that goes about. I mean, he's a guy that's a couple years of a project in college, and it's going to be interesting to see where he's playing at this level.
Yeah, I've
Also,
kind of.
go ahead.
Go ahead, Ryan.
I was going to just say also with Kritza, like we know the talent down there is awesome. He has 4 games against like top 300 defensive backs too that are going to challenge him, and obviously he's got talent around him at wide receiver. But and one of those guys, by the way, he's not top 300 is Antonio Branch too, who's going to play safety at Penn State down the road. But I mean, Ben Hanks is a heck of a player. Keon Young, heck of a player. Gregory Thomas is one of the top prospects in the entire country. Like he's going to be facing some defensive backs that he has never seen before, and that could be good or bad. That's what I'm really interested in. That's why I included him in this article. Like this step up in talent, again, he's got a talent around him now too, which is fun. But if he's able to thread up some of these defensive backs, and really produce some numbers, that's going to give people a reason to maybe think again about where he's rated.
So
It's a high pressure situation because it's there's a lot of people watching him right now. Like he's a I would say his profile like is a bit expanded from what he is as a prospect. I mean, he's been on the radar for a long time, and also on top of that, he cost Ryan and I a trip to Boulder. So,
but I'll take a trip to Miami. I'm just saying, if we're in.
maybe not in September. Maybe wait until like October, November.
Playoff game.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sure we'll get right on that.
So I just want to put up his kind of profile here on the YouTube show for those watching on YouTube, but I'm going to kind of talk through some of these things that these guys are mentioning. But I think with Bekkem Kritza, to get into some of these details, it is important to know why he's as polarizing as he is, or why there's so much attention on him as there is. 6'5", 185. When he committed to Penn State, I think he was 10 pounds lighter. He looked like a basketball player that, or a long distance runner. Like he didn't necessarily look like a football player, but with that size and the velocity that the ball comes off of his hand, he has a lightning quick release, and he's 6'5". So when you have the movement skills, the foot quickness to be an RPO, read option athlete, and I'm not saying that he's a runner necessarily, but I'm saying Andy Kolnicki's talked about like your positional athleticism to be able to flip your hips and throw the football consistently in the RPO game, or to run a read option correctly and then get to another chained movement. He's got all of that potential. So as far as Fitz is talking about the ceiling, it's all there. Arm talent, all that stuff. He also last year, and I'm with you guys because I want to see some clean film from him. I didn't realize this at the time. When he transferred back to Colorado, it was during the season. So he was at Miami Central and had to transfer back, I think either after the first game or like right around the first game. So he was playing in that offense, not knowing that offense. And you could see it on the film.
Yes and no. He did play there before, but it's more so he didn't have a preseason to prep with those guys.
But that's what I mean. Like,
yeah,
it functionally, he might as well not have been in that offense before, because the way he operated it, watching him on film and watching some of those full games, he didn't know where the reads were necessarily, where he was going through the film and everything was off schedule. A lot of his big plays were off schedule, or they were kind of like one read screenplays. I want to see that talent develop, as you mentioned, throw the ball down the field aggressively against good defensive backs and beat them with that velocity and pace on the football. That's going to be the challenge for him, is not to just have this talent you guys are talking about, but put it on display in a better situation than I think he's had so far in his college career or his high school career. So just kind of wanted to put a fine point on the Bekkem Kritza conversation.
And to add another point, he's worked his ass off. Like he's really, really worked hard. Like it's one of those things. He's not putting it all on video and putting clips out on Twitter and Instagram. Like he has worked hard. He came up and worked with Danny O'Brien, I think 3 times this summer. Like he's putting in the work that he needs to. It's just a matter of he's got a long way to go. Like that's I think that's commendable. So I think it's worth saying as well. And he's been one of Penn State's best recruiters as well.
Last thing, like we were talking about, why is Bekkem Kritza so polarizing? And this is unfair to him, but Matt Zollers is also a major reason why. And you know, taking him when they did, you know, whether it's fair or not, probably didn't have a massive impact. Maybe it did. I don't know. But, you know, that grabbed everyone's attention. Matt Zollers ends up elsewhere. Penn State fans get all upset about it. Like we just need to mention, like, why is that a big case? Matt Zollers, which is totally unfair to Beckham, is a massive reason why.
Well,
I also think
Malik Washington.
That's what I was going to say.
Ryan Montgomery. I mean, Ryan Montgomery wasn't coming here, but like you see those guys with the stars beside their names, and you know you kind of wonder why you would jump head first. And it's probably not a conversation for August of the year after he committed, but like it is unfair to him. But you can still, I think you can still question it. I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. And just to round it all the way back to what Fitz said originally, he has as much talent as other guys, you know, in terms of potential.
For sure.
Arm talent and physical potential. He has some of those characteristics. So Penn State didn't take a shot in the dark. It's just whether or not this is going to pay off. And Kritza, as Fitz mentioned, is putting in the work to make sure that happens.